Hello, right, here we go, the mighty UFO and their 1980 album, No Place to Run. It's just had a very welcome remaster, which includes the addition of 3 bonus tracks, and also it's accompanied by a live performance that the band did in the good old London Marquee club later on in 1980. So this double disc is proper stuff indeed. I'll tell you about it in a second, but first, if I could ask you if you wouldn't mind please subscribing to the channel. It's free, you just click the button, and there's hundreds of videos all over the channel for you to check out, including this one and all future ones of course. So if you wouldn't mind clicking the little subscribe button, that would be marvellous. Anyway, but back to UFO and No Place to Run. We all know the history, don't we? UFO stock had been on the rise throughout the 70s after that young Michael Schenker joined on guitar, and that period culminated with the tour that gave us the classic live album Strangers in the Night. Schenker then had something of a power strop before Strangers in the Night was released, didn't he? And circumstances surrounding that are disputed, and as the popular saying goes these days, recollections may vary, so we'd best not get into that. So what do UFO do? They bring in Paul Tonka Chapman as a new guitarist, a man certainly more than capable and known to UFO after he filled in a couple of times prior, featuring after some of Schenker's earlier mini-strops, shall we say. And of course Paul was given that Tonka tag as he was considered to have something of an indestructible constitution, very much like the robust toys of the time were said to be. Who remembers Tonka toys? Of course you do. Well, if you're of a certain age like I am, you will. So this new UFO lineup went to record the album that would become No Place to Run, and of all places to record it, they went to Montserrat, the island in the Caribbean where George Martin had built his legendary Air Studios. And anticipation surrounding the album was somewhat high. How would Chapman sound? How would UFO get on without Schenker? Well, there's no need to be concerned whatsoever here. After the short atmospheric instrumental intro of Alpha Centauri, Chapman announces his arrival straight away in no uncertain terms with that blistering riff on Letting Go, one of the heaviest songs in the UFO catalogue, and a stunning solo to boot. Tonka's here now, so who's this Schenker chap? Who was he again? What else we got? Chapman announces his arrival in fine style with the dexterously acoustic intro to Mystery Train, quite stunning, before another brutal steamroller riff and more astonishing fretwork. Marvellous stuff. This Fire Burns Tonight, Gone in the Night and Young Blood are a trio that throb and chug along quite nicely, with perhaps more of a more melodic feel to them than UFO typically had. Perhaps it was that Caribbean life influence and the chilled out and whatnot. But then comes the title track, full of menace and brooding and more heroics from Chapman. Take It or Leave It goes all sort of power ballad-ish. Paul Raymond's more to the fore here with his keys and piano, and probably sort of makes you might think a little bit of, say, Try Me from Obsession. Very well written and composed song. Money's a bit of a throwaway but catchy. And then we've got that glorious closer of Any Day. Probably the most un-UFO-like song, but I think one of the best. Starts off with Pete Way's slightly weird bass lines and Phil Mogg's sort of like gentle, sensitive-ish vocal for a bit. Then all the power comes in, punching hard, alternates backwards and forwards between the quieter stuff and the thumping stuff, and then we've got a glorious lead out with Chapman again showing just how good he is. I mean, it's marvellous, 3.5 minutes or so. The sound on this new remaster is much better than the original production. I feel it's clearer and more punchy, big improvement. The 3 bonus tracks are a single version of Money, and alternative versions of Gone in the Night and No Place to Run. And then, of course, we've got the live stuff. This is Blistering UFO, recorded at the Marquee Club in November 1980. You know, we all remember the Marquee, don't we? 14 songs, 75 minutes or so, and you know, it's rip-roaring stuff. By this time, of course, there'd been another lineup change. Paul Raymond had gone to reunite with Schenker and MSG, and in came Neil Carter. The set list is quite interesting because they include Changed Chains and Long Gone from the upcoming and at this time unreleased The Wilder Willing and the Innocent album, which in my opinion is UFO's best album, but you know, that's just my opinion. Yours might be different. But you know, don't miss this No Place to Run Deluxe job. It's marvellous, especially for the Marquee stuff. Various formats out there: double CD, triple vinyl, digital, etc. I will put a link to that in the description below on Amazon, so you can go and get your format of choice, but of course other outlets are available. And very soon UFO's Misdemeanor album is being reissued again with another live disc, this time of them at the Oxford Apollo on the 1985 tour supporting Misdemeanor. I've got that on pre-order, so review to follow when that arrives, but in the meantime, don't miss out on this. If you're an old UFO fan like I am, you'll be snapping it up, no doubt. Until next time, please do subscribe to the channel before you go, because that'd be great. And thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and take care.